I want to say to them, leave now. Leave now so that we can know how many soldiers we have in this struggle to liberate our people. You must leave today, because nothing is going to change between now and December. Nothing is going to change now and in the future. The future looks bright because we determine it today. We are here to make our destiny for how the future looks like tomorrow. Leave now. We have no reason to beg anyone. If you want to leave, leave now and leave us alone. Even if we are alone, we'll always continue to speak truth to power.
Guys, can we please talk about this story? Allegedly, EFF hits Dr. Ndlozi with a ban from attending elective conference. People were so quick to judge and advise Dr. Ndlozi to resign, to leave EFF without even knowing what this ban means, how long is this ban. They just want to come negative.
Our biggest enemy and immediate enemy that we are dealing with now is MKP. We don't want to see anything that has got to do with that.
I must be honest, there's something wrong with Julius Malema. Something is absolutely wrong about Julius Malema. I think that Julius Malema is either bipolar, has a low self-esteem about himself, he has anger issues, he's got all sorts of emotional and mental problems, because it's either di manuale bala or it's either onale kwal, onale anger. I mean, think about it. First of all, he undermined Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. There were all these reports that Mbuyiseni Ndlozi has been barred from attending their biggest conference that's going to happen now in December. And I mean, it only took a few weeks for Marshal Dlamini to come and say that no, the rumors about Mbuyiseni Ndlozi being expelled from attending or being barred from attending the NPA in December, it's not true. Julius hasn't said anything about it, but we know that Julius has in the past said makahambe, mabahambe, those people that want to leave to join the MK. Just recently, we've seen Julius Malema this week. He said a couple of things. He had a press briefing, and of course, this happened in preparation for their NPA right here, Ko Nazareke, just a stone throw away from where I'm at. And Julius Malema went to town about talking about the MKP being the enemy. This is after he went and had tea with Ubaba in May. And of course, they were rising up against each other, towards each other. He never said anything in attack of the MKP or Jacob Zuma during the elections campaign. But now, hey, isugile matota. This guy is going full blazing at Jacob Zuma, calling him old, calling him divisive. How can an 80-something-year-old be expected to to build? How can an 80-something-year-old be expected to build South Africa? so that's what he's saying. But there's a lot more that Julius Malema said in that interview. And there's a first one that I really want to talk about is what he said about Floyd Shivambu. And I think that's why maybe Floyd Ilena Availe. Because imagine you are in a relationship, a brotherhood, a friendship, in a partnership. You build this organization with a madman, somebody with mental issues, insecurity issues. Remember, Julius Malema always had a bit of a issue about himself, and he projects it in saying nasty things about people, nasty things about individuals. He's body shamed a few people, and of course you'll hear in one of the interviews he makes a joke about Silimadia, that it's a long walk where they are going to be marching to the Constitutional Hill. And I mean, these are just subtle things that he says about people. We know he has said all sorts of things to Menaledi Pando. He came and apologized. He said things to Helen Zille in the past and he's apologized. He's also said things about Zuma and apologized. And Tumbeki and apologized. So clearly something high sharp Julius Malema. Anyway, the EFF leader, Julius Malema, has threatened his former deputy Floyd Shivambu that he will spill the beans should he be pushed. Now, what is that? So, the piri or secrets that he has with Floyd Shivambu will be revealed if Floyd continues to say things like, we are not friends, we are not brothers. It was a mafia-style type of leadership in the EFF. And of course, Julius did say, Khori, if you are saying, I've always been the way that I am, I've always been very, he's trying to say, Khori, he's very upfront, he's very, he's very tough. So now he's been said, or it's been touted as somebody who is a dictator. So he says, how can you say that I'm a dictator yet you go and join another dictator called Jacob Zuma? Anyway, so I never initiated a fight with anyone. They went to sit and said, we have to drop him, we have to finish him off, Malema said on Monday. But those who knew about Shivambu's imminent departure, I regarded him as my brother. If he doesn't feel the same about me, it's his problem. I did everything for him as a brother. And if I must be challenged one day and be pushed, I will talk. Don't push me.
None whatsoever with any individual who is here, who's a non-performer, who is a factionalist, who's a divisive person, and I can't say that about any of these people. What they do after that is their own issues, because I had a discussion with the SG when Cape Town about Floyd, and I said, Floyd must come back. I don't see anything. If Floyd was not there, we didn't have to impress him. We were sitting, I was drinking, coffee. SG was drinking hard things as usual, because I don't do. And we were talking. And that's why I asked him, where does this one come from? Because even in the most private, useless, meaningless conversation, there's never been anything like that. Whatever they do, it will be out of their own judgment. He says, I'm not his brother, but I regarded him as my brother. If he doesn't feel the same about me, it's his own problem.
Yeah.
So I did everything for him as a brother. I did. And I must be challenged one day and be pushed.
So that's what Julius Malema had to say, man. But I want you to see, Khore, there is definitely a lot of challenges happening in the EFF. And of course, take a listen to the first video, because a lot has been said from the press briefing. And take a listen to this, man.
Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi has been barred from attending the People's Congress. No, we're dealing with the PGA. You know, those things that come from media and all those things. What they are not doing is that if there's that case, they should have gone to the same person that told you that and responded to it. And we're not going to. We've got over 2,500 delegates that are going to the conference, so we can't be sitting and be redirected by those that want to see the EFF losing focus by setting the agenda. So we're not entertaining those things. We're focused on the journey. That's why we're here to deal with the issues of the PGAs. What is the Eastern Cape delegates? What are they saying? What is their contribution? What do they want to see happening out of and becoming the outcome of that National People's Assembly on the policy position, on the leadership position? Is their opportunity? We're here to listen to them, and they're going to come out solid, as we can see. All of them, they are here in full attendance.
So is he going to be part of that?
Is part of what?
Part of the conference.
Brother, I'm saying we've got what you call 2,500 delegates that are coming. If you want me to give you the list, because I can't speak of someone, I think it's an unfair question. Even yourself, if I can ask you, is your colleague going to be at work tomorrow? What if he's not there? You're going to come back to me and say, yeah, this is what you said. I don't know. We are going to a conference. There's 2,500 delegates that are sitting in the conference. And Commissioner Dr. Mbuyiseni is a member of the Central Command team. So obviously, as a member of the Central Command team, it's our conference. Everyone is going to be there.
We have never hidden away the reasons why we removed the former deputy president from KZN and those that were deployed with him. We had a meeting of our owners, the EFF. We made assessment. An assessment we made out of our own now direct interaction with the ground in KZN and the complaints we have been receiving from KZN led to the removal of the former deputy president and others. You know, to show you that there was something wrong that the deputy president was doing with other colleagues in KZN. Everything that was reported to us was extremely perfect. So they mastered the mechanism to meet the requirements, even if those things do not exist. There was a point where we wanted people to the stadium, to Moses Mabhida Stadium. And the numbers we received were extremely more than the numbers we received for votes. And that on its own just told us there's something wrong. And then we did not intervene after. We intervened before. Unfortunately, we were very late. And that's why after we intervened, the SG was able to pull a mother of all matches before the elections in eThekwini. Because that time we're now reclaiming our organization and trying to reposition it. Unfortunately, we're out of time and we had to go to the election.
I can leave. And you know the good thing to leave when it's still nice is that those who come after you will still come and consult you, will still invite you to events. They will not be hostility. I'm going to leave the EFF chamber. I've set boundaries for myself. I know when. For now, you're still going to have to keep up with me. I'm here. The whole of this agenda that is being pushed is to get me to be demoralized. Whether we are turned out tandy nkona and I'm not like Buteles. I work according to plan. You are not going to remove me through a coffin. Angiphume ngebhokisi. Ngizophuma ngihamba. Ngisambela mna ngiye farming. Ngiyolima. Umalema ayolima. So yo lesatlo ba le problem. Inongo hotelela. 43 years old now. Very young. You can see the body is of a 33-year-old. You can see the skin is glowing, no problems. We're cruising nicely. Izinto zakhona siyahamba baba. We're happy in the EFF, and that's what it's going to be. Our biggest enemy and immediate enemy that we are dealing with now is MKP. We don't want to see anything that has got to do with that.
So you heard even in one of the videos, he says the biggest enemy number one is the MKP. And I mean, let's not forget that after the elections, they wanted to cozy up against with each other because they thought maybe they are going to form a progressive black caucus, and the progressive black caucus would then bring all these other small leftist parties together so that they can be formidable and stand against and be a biggest opposition bloc in parliament, which is now going to be interesting that Floyd as the SG now, and how is he going to deal with the EFF, and how will the EFF deal with Floyd and deal with the MKP in parliament when they have to vote on specific issues, especially now that there's a pala matter that is being resuscitated. We know that the EFF will be marching to the Constitutional Hill. All right, so back to Floyd and Malema. The two had a close relationship for years, emanating from the ANC Youth League until it became clear when Shivambu allegedly sidelined the party leader about his resignation that things have soared. Recently, Shivambu characterized their ties as a political relationship on the SMWX podcast. Sometimes this so-called brotherhood thing is not brotherhood. It borders on gangster relationship that we are together and we don't call each other to order even if the person is wrong. So clearly Floyd was very afraid of Julius Malema or Julius Nokarike Poza. But I mean, you can see his tone. I mean, even Lema old lady, my mother, who is 79 years old, says, Mari Julius watella, why abuayan? Wana ke mare khana maitseo wa itse gore nje ke a mutlwa le ene the way a buang ka teng gore khana maitseo le botho wa tella. So maybe Floyd just had enough about Malema and his utterances and him not being able to be called to order. I can almost imagine, or even if he's wrong, he cannot be called to order. Malema told the media that he had informed his children to contact Uncle Floyd to oversee aspects of his funeral. Asked about an alleged fight between them, Malema said, "You will have to slaughter cows for that fight to happen. It will never happen. That's what the enemy is wishing for. I told my son, if I die, you must contact Uncle Floyd. So you guys work together with your mother on the program of the funeral." When the party announced Shivambu's exit in August, Malema said he felt the same pain he felt when his mother passed away. On the EFF podcast ahead of the party's elective conference next month, Malema alleged Shivambu had chased his school principal with a knife while he was a pupil. Slowly but surely. Look, Malema will reveal all as time goes on. As so, he says, if he is pushed. The EFF will fill Shivambu's vacancy next month when leaders of the party will be elected. So, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane how the two brothers have just turned against each other and they are using the media and the public space. And Jacob Zuma is sitting there in the back thinking, you two bastards really tried to get me fired. You got me fired. And what did he do? He takes one of them and he puts them and makes him his right-hand person. And now he becomes his defenders. Now, can you believe that Floyd this says he was being misled? How can an intellect like him? I mean, Floyd ukelezitsa bafowethu. No ways. Floyd uslemo, Floyd urutegile, Floyd unale di pura. Floyd is intelligent. Floyd is absolutely highly educated. How could he possibly? How could he? I could not even believe that Sunday Times report that said Zuma has a house in Dubai. I took it like a pinch of salt. I took it under like a pinch of salt when they said Zuma has a bunker, and this bunker's got billions that money come from the Libyan leader who died, Muammar Gaddafi who died, and money was stored. I mean, all those things, I just think that they were just pure lies. But what I did believe, though, was reports that came from Parliament, from committees, from the state capture, from the opposition parties. I remember the pay back the money issue, the Nkandla issue that was so imminent at the time. I remember the Auditor General's reports that were coming out with regards to corruption, fruitless expenditure, wasteful expenditure that were coming out in Transnet, Eskom, and all these other parastatals in those years of Zuma years. I remember them to be something that were out in the public. It was not just the media driving the narrative. It was the politicians in Parliament who were attacking Zuma, who were attacking his administration and bringing reports. And it was the Auditor General's reports. It was the MPs and MPLs themselves who were constantly shouting that Zuma is corrupt and is surrounded by corrupt leaders and so on and so on. The EFF leader, now here's another part. The EFF leader, Julius Malema, says the MKP party has made it its mission to recruit leaders of his party, and that the EFF has barred the rival party from taking part in an EFF march on Tuesday. I'm sure you heard that in one of the clips, but I don't know how the Progressive Caucus is going to work, especially now that he has made it clear that even though the Phala matter, that they both agree that it must be resuscitated, that the NPA head in Limpopo, who had made a decision not to follow through with the case, has decided not to follow through with the case on the part of pursuing the matter on the part of the president or on the part of the manager of Phala for having so many millions under a couch that are not allowed. However, this matter, people are still arrested. They are going to court. It's going to be very interesting. The EFF's march aims to hold President Ramaphosa accountable over the controversial Phala scandal after the National Prosecuting NPA decision not to prosecute Ramaphosa or others involved in the matter. The only others who have been prosecuted are the people that actually stole the money, not the people whose money was stolen from. I mean, not the guy who brought the money into the country legally, not via our control system, financial control systems. He hasn't been charged for bringing that millions of money. Nobody has been charged from the presidency, the guys who run the farm, the manager of the farm. When Malema addressed the media on Monday, many of the questions from journalists related to the exodus of prominent leaders of the party in its relationship with the MK party and Jacob Zuma. The first question was, set the record straight. Is Mbuyiseni Ndlozi barred from attending the National People's Assembly? That's the question. Was he barred? Malema dismissed the speculation. I don't know what you want me to answer on Ndlozi, because I never said anything on Ndlozi. So do not bring your Shebeen gossip to glorify some toilet discussion. I am not part of that. The EFF has never said anything. If we got something to tell, we'll communicate it. We don't know what you are talking about. Some prominent party members have left to join the Zuma's party. Zuma told Sunday Times last week that he'd be elated if other members of the EFF joined the party. So, in fact, Julius said, what exodus of members are leaving my party? And yet, he says, show me a list of at least 10, 15 people who are leaving. Okay, it's less than 5 that are prominent, but is there more from the branches that are actually joining the MKP? Me and President Zuma, we are very good in terms of our relationship. The same me and Ramaphosa, we are very good. If it is the truth, it must be told. President Jacob Zuma is corrupt. The public protector found him to be wrong. He rejected that. We took him to court. That's why he had to pay some monies back in relation to Nkandla. So what is misleading about that? We have no relationship with the MKP. Even worse now, when the MKP has made it its program to recruit some of its leaders of the EFF. Tomorrow we are marching to the Constitutional Court with everyone except the MKP. So take a look at these videos, man. Let me know what you think. And is Julius Malema mad? Is he mental? Does he have bipolar? Does he have anger issues? Does he have unale kwali? Unale kwali, or is it unale linyatso? What do you think? What kind of a leader do we need, or does the EFF need a leadership like that? Does the EFF lead maybe a leadership of Ndlozi's caliber, who is charming, who smiles, who is kind, who can sing, who can dance, who's a ladies' man, the students like him. He's not very aggressive in his approach. He's very calm and chilled. Or does the EFF need a leader like Julius Malema to continue again for another term? But Malema's always been toying around saying he's prepared to leave. He does not mind going to a farm and being a farmer and farming his chicken and cattle and whatever. He really doesn't mind. So I don't know. What do you think? Are you a member of the EFF? Are you angry at the MKP? Are you sad, or are you joining the MKP? We've seen so many people joining the MKP. We've now also seen socialized influencers joining the MKP. So that's how bad things have been on their side. All right. So check it out, man. All right, man. Thanks.
Many of them are opportunistic because they want to see whether they will emerge in the upcoming Third National People's Assembly before they decide whether they will remain in the EFF or not. Many of them are using the Third National People's Assembly as a threat that if they do not get elected or are not part of the leadership discussions leading up to the conference, then they will leave and join MKP. We must never be blackmailed by those who want to threaten us with leaving after the Third National People's Assembly. I want to say to them, leave now. Leave now so that we can know how many soldiers we have in this struggle to liberate our people. You must leave today, because nothing is going to change between now and December. Nothing is going to change now and in the future. The future looks bright because we determine it today. We are here to make our destiny for how the future looks like tomorrow. Leave now. We have no reason to beg anyone. If you want to leave, leave now and leave us alone. Even if we are alone, we'll always continue to speak truth to power. It's very painful to count the soldiers you don't have. Fellow fighters, none of you should allow anyone to bargain their loyalty for position.
Guys, can we please talk about this story? Allegedly, EFF hits Dr. Ndlozi with a ban from attending elective conference. People were so quick to judge and advise Dr. Ndlozi to resign, to leave EFF, without even knowing what this ban means, how long is this ban. They just want to come negative. Guys, you must know, this is the worst year for EFF as a party, as a political party. So now people who've been hating on EFF since back then, now they have power. Now they have everything. They're throwing everything at EFF because they can see EFF is at its lowest. Guys, you can't just resign because they banned you or you feel like you've been humiliated. You can't do that. The guy's getting 120k per month. So when you guys advising this guy to leave EFF without a plan, without an exit plan, where to go after EFF, then you are killing the dude. The guy must just follow the protocols that is given to him. Follow all the rules. Maybe he did something that caused the ban. So guys, for each and every party, there are rules and regulations. If you break them, they have a right to ban you. It doesn't matter. So now people want to twist the whole story like EFF is bad and all that. I'm not saying EFF is good, but guys, you can intervene whatever happens in that party.
Me and President Zuma were very good. The same way me and President Ramaphosa were very good. But it doesn't stop me from saying he's corrupt. Because he is corrupt. By being good to you doesn't mean I must not tell you the truth. If you listen to my speech yesterday in the Gauteng General Assembly, I said, you must tell the truth even if telling the truth to a lover or your lifetime partner or your wife or your husband. If it is the truth, it must be told. President Zuma is corrupt. And it's not me. The public protector found him to be wrong. He rejected that. We took him to court. That's why he had to pay some monies back in relation to Nkandla. So what more do you want? What is misleading about that? Because it was not only me. The public protector came to the conclusion that there were wrongdoings in Nkandla. The Constitutional Court said yes, he must pay back the money. And we were singing in Parliament that he must pay back the money. But it doesn't mean I've got anything against him personally. I'm dealing with issues of principle. And if it means telling them to your wife when she's wrong or your husband, I'll also do the same thing. We have no relationship with MKP. And even worse now, when MKP has made it its program to recruit leaders of the EFF. Tomorrow we are marching to the Constitutional Court with everyone except MKP. The MKP won't be part of our march. If they want to march, they must go and organize their own. But ATM and even ANC can't join us. It's our march. And any other person that has been opposed to Phala can join the EFF march tomorrow, starting from Mary Fitzgerald Square. At what time is it? 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. Mary Fitzgerald Square, marching all the way to Constitutional Court. I don't know what's going to happen to you, CD, because you couldn't even walk here. There's small distance here. Imagine.
Jacob Zuma will never find peace in the presence of the EFF that respects the Constitution. As long as the Constitution is what we have now, Jacob Zuma, unless he is held accountable to the fullest, he will never address this parliament. There will never be a time where he will find peace in this particular parliament. At all times he will know that there are serious dynamics and opposition that will come from the EFF, which has been proven times and again that is the only defender of the Constitution.
President Zuma, when he was inducting all of us yesterday, he says that we might be friends or we might think we're friends, but friendship won't apply here. Yes. If you do not do these things right, you're going to be taken care of appropriately. There were so many people who were even saying that President Zuma stole billions of rands. He's building mansions in Dubai. He's doing all of those things. Not even one person today can come with a proof that President Zuma took a single cent from the state for his own personal benefit out of the so-called nonsense of state capture. That has never been alleged, has never been proved.
All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for watching the Free Ride podcast. I appreciate it, man. My name is Sipho Masigo. I really want to thank you. I want to thank all of you for watching, for liking, for sharing, for commenting. I really do appreciate it. Listen, I saw all your comments in my last video, and I must say that that video went viral. And on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, the numbers are just have been insane, and I really want to thank you for all your comments. And of course, I don't think that I'm capable of going through all the comments that you guys have made on both platforms, and I really want to appreciate what you guys have had to say. And thank you for watching, thank you for sharing, and I really appreciate it, man. Ita.
Our biggest enemy and immediate enemy that we are dealing with now is MKP. We don't want to see anything that has got to do with that.